Hey beautiful people, it's Mizgo here. Now when you get your UX design portfolio right, this will definitely unlock so many great opportunities for you. Freelancing, full-time roles, you might even get asked to take your shirt off and do a muscle up in a Microsoft ad. So let me walk you through 4 design portfolios that I love and I will personally would hire at Mizgo Media. So let's get right into it guys. Here we have Isa Penhiro's design portfolio. I don't think I pronounced that right at all. Hopefully it was somewhat right, but hopefully someone can correct me in the comments below. But the great thing about this design portfolio is it is so simple, but the simplicity reinforces how beautiful her work is. So let me walk you through step by step on why I love this design portfolio. But the first thing is, with the choice of the headline really captivated me. I love the fact that she said, I'm a designer at Hello Monday based in Tokyo / Singapore / New York. This, in just a few words, she is able to really communicate to me what type of person she is. So just from that headline, I can already see that she potentially is one of those designers who love traveling, who can't really settle in one city, they're trying to explore the world, what she really enjoys experiences, potentially she loves photography, taking photos of different cities and publishing it on Twitter, Instagram and all that good stuff. So that's the immediate vibe that I get from her. And as I scroll further down, she has some very clean layouts to help showcase her work. And something that I've realized is with UX designers, they are very focused on the strategy piece, and then on the UI and the visual design piece, there isn't as much effort and sort of care put into that. So the things such as consistent spacing over here, so she's got very consistent spacing, everything is neatly tucked in together, the hierarchy of the text looks really, really good, and she's also used very good visuals as well. So you can see here, very beautiful, captivates me. I love the choice of the font, suits the mood of this design style. And let's click into one of her design portfolio items and we can see that once again, it just looks very beautiful. She uses large imagery to really give the web page some breathing room. She breaks up the information architecture and the hierarchy of the page with nice imagery. She's got just the right amount of text, so she's not overwhelming me with like paragraphs, short snippet, just enough to keep me captivated. As I scroll down, hits me with the quality of the work. Right away, I can sort of already see and feel what type of designer Isa is. She has a lot of care on the visual side of things, great sort of animations, even does a screencast of the design itself. She puts in that extra effort to really present her work quite nicely, which is very, very good to see. As we scroll further down, lots of focus on the visual aspect of it, which is good. And if you are a junior UX designer, this is hard to hear, but there is a lot of focus on juniors needing to actually design visually really, really well. Because the expectation when you join as a junior UX designer is that you are going to take on the smaller responsibilities. And that will generally come in the form of doing the visual design of things. And then as you become more experienced, you will start to be given more responsibilities to start scoping out the brief, talking to customers, doing a lot more of the strategic types of work. So if you were brand new into the UX field, do focus and don't overlook the visual aspect of UI and UX design. So let's go further down. Lots of visuals, lots of video and nice imagery, which is great. Now what's running through my mind is, does she have the experience to actually talk to customers, gather insights, sort of put it down in an affinity map, be able to present all the research, synthesize it, turn those insights into tactical wireframes and then designs. That is what's running through my mind right now. And that's also why it's important to be able to showcase the entire process as well, because right now it seems very visually driven, which is great and very beautiful, but I would not say I'm 100% confident about her UX skills. So let's take a look at another project really quickly. And let's just see this one. This one looks pretty good. All right, so once again, very similar layout, which is fine. I think it's very well done. Once again, it's very visually driven, how it measures the skin. So she talks a little bit about the features, which is great. That's good. So once again, very feature and visually driven, which is a great start. But if I was to hire a UX designer specifically to talk to customers, gather insights, document it, present it to stakeholders, turn those insights into tactical like wireframes and designs, I wouldn't say I am 100% confident right now. However, it's also good that she's ended this case study with a video as well, showing your work in a real form, in its real form is the strongest way to actually present your work. However, with that said, I would say she's a very strong visual designer, probably understands like the fundamentals of UX, but in terms of actually exercising tactical ways of like gathering insights, talking to customers, uncovering interesting insights that others might not be able to uncover, I'm not too sure if she's able to. But in terms of her design portfolio, I would 100% invite her into Mizco Media to have a chat, and I think she would definitely be able to get her foot in the door with a lot of companies as well. So one page that I do want to mention is the About page. Always have an About page because we want to make sure that we don't just put and bring focus to the work that we do, we also want to bring through a little bit of personality, because when you are looking for a job or when you're working with a client, ultimately the work needs to be great, but you also need to be a great person to work with. So being able to showcase that is very important. And I can also see she's got an Instagram. Let's see if she's a photographer. Guys, what did I say? Since she was a bit of a traveler, this is exactly what I had in mind. This is exactly what I had in mind on her Twitter or Instagram feed. An Instagrammer who sort of takes a lot of photos when she's traveling, documenting her travels. See, this is why it's important to get a lot of the copyright, the positioning right, and putting your personality out there, is because I already had some subconscious feelings and visions of who this person might be, and it actually came true. So that's why it's important to talk about yourself, guys. Very important. So, second design portfolio is Kurt. Kurt is a passionate interface and experience designer from Melbourne, Australia. Yes, now living in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So, great that he's from Melbourne. Sad to see him leave us behind. But anyways, he's got a very good design portfolio, guys, and I want to walk you through step by step on what makes it good. So once again, very similar to Isa, very strong, visually driven designer. And if I was a company that was lacking visual design in the team and everyone was very strategic and more on the UX side, I would 100% be considering Kurt's design portfolio. So let's take a look at his work. Once again, nice transition, really good use of photography, guys. There is a lot of great resources, Pexels, pexels.com, Unsplash. You can use and find a lot of free, royalty-free stock imagery that you can use on your design portfolio and case studies. So take the time and craft good case studies with good imagery. It really makes a big difference. So here we can see that he's done some UI and UX design work. Here, similar to Isa, starts it off with a bit of a showcase of the design work itself. So I think that helps capture the reader's attention, and then you can double down and walk them through what the process was like, because you want to make sure you capture their attention first. So here we have nice problem statement, then we have the designs, very well laid out, looks very beautiful, lots of breathing room. It sort of makes me want to get back to UI design. Now, project goals, he's starting to define some of the UX research and sort of outcomes for the project, which is great. Showcases the design system, research methods, he's now showcasing some of the methods. Good use of iconography, brings attention to some of the most important parts that he wants to communicate. And then he has a very digestible and summarized paragraph, which is also really good. Then he's got some key focus areas. He's using real photos from the research that he has done to really social proof it and validate the work that he's done himself. So showcasing it instead of just telling about it. Then he goes through some of the core needs that he's discovered. The great thing about this is he's sort of bundled all the UX strategy and process all in one segment without making the entire case study about that research piece, because it can be a bit daunting, a bit dry if everything is about wireframes and post-it notes and sitemaps and all that good stuff. So I like the fact that he's bundled it all together. And then as we scroll further down, he's broken out some of the features with a lot of prototypes as well, which is great. There's a prototype here as well. So in terms of Kurt's case study, and he's also got full screen views of all the designs and then wrapped it up with some learnings. So the great thing about Kurt's design portfolio is that he takes what Isa has done, very visually driven, and then he started to introduce a little bit more of the UX process. So the way that he's positioned himself is, if he's applying for a UI design role, visual design role, or a UX design role, his case studies are answering and checking all the boxes for all the things that I want to see. So I feel a little bit more confident that if I was to throw Kurt into a brand new project that required visual design and UX design, research processes and all that, I feel confident that he can potentially make that happen. So that is why it's important to be able to include all those important aspects into it. And one other thing is Kurt also has an about page where he puts himself forward to really showcase himself, a nice photo of himself, talks a little bit about himself personally, and then also his experience. So once again, guys, always don't forget and don't overlook your about page, and also include your social media, because I think it's actually quite interesting to see who these people are before we bring them in. And I'm actually curious to see his Instagram to see what type of person he is. Cool. Yeah. Loves skateboarding. That's great. Loves being outdoors. See, just from this, I feel like Kurt is a very great person, and I would love to work with him. All right, guys. Third design portfolio, Olivia Trung, product designer. So this one actually caught my eye. It was quite interesting, quite engaging, quite captivating. I love little small things. So this really caught my eye. As you scroll down, once again, quite visually driven. If you notice, there is a theme, guys. There's a theme that runs through all these design portfolios. They are very visually driven. They capture my interest first, and then they double down on what the process looks like. So here we have Olivia's design portfolio. It looks very, very good. You might notice again, social media. You want that social proof. You want to bring out that personality, guys. All right, let's click into a design portfolio item. Let's take a look at a case study. So Olivia here, on the other hand, is a little bit different to Kurt and Issa in a way. She hasn't captivated me or captured me with some of the visual designs of the project. She goes right into the UX process. Talks about talking to customers, showcases some of the designs of the existing product, then goes into the main objective, starting with questions. So this is more of the standard case study layout that you see people produce when they finish a bootcamp. It's structured in a way that resonates with the UX design process. So here we have all the card sorting, affinity mapping, sort of some of the visual designs, then we have the iterations, and then we have some of the other iterations of the design. And then she's walking us through literally the design process of that project. So this is not a bad thing. This is actually quite good. And I think it really depends on how you want to position yourself. And let me walk you guys through what I mean by that after we click into this one. So you can see there's a distinct difference between how Issa and Kurt have positioned themselves and then how Olivia is now positioning herself. Now what Olivia has done, she has doubled down on that UX process. So let's take a look at another case study and see if it's still the same sort of consistent layout. So once again, she goes straight into the metrics. She's starting to talk about the problem statement. She's starting to give us context about what she's trying to solve. Then she goes straight into a customer journey map. She talks about, all the different types of triggers, purpose. So yes, customer journey map. Then she's going down into site maps and wireframes. And you can see that she's being very strategic and she's very sort of technical and strategic in the way that she approaches. So the feeling that I get with Olivia is that she's very, very strong, and I feel very confident in her UX design process, and that if I was to throw her into the deep end and say, hey, can you just talk to a few customers? Can you put together some early concepts and turn it into some designs? I feel confident that she can do that. With Kurt and Issa, I would say that they're very strong in the visual design aspect, and I'm just not too sure how strong their strategic UX skills are. It's not good or bad, but really that's just how they've positioned them. However, I would still talk to all three of them if I was looking for a UX designer. But my gut feeling will probably be Olivia might stand out as a stronger strategic UX designer that's more geared towards driving metrics and moving the needle. And then Kurt and Issa is probably more of the visual design aspect. The visual designer who have a very unique style on their visual design. So that's pretty much it for her design portfolio. And the very last design portfolio, guys, I want to show you is Johnny Vino. Now, this one is a little bit different, and you can definitely tell that his design portfolio is once again a little bit more different from Kurt's, Issa's, and also Olivia's. And the reason why I want to showcase this to you guys is because I believe that Johnny understands how to position himself as an authority. he knows how to position himself as a desirable designer. And what do I mean by that? If you've watched any of my videos about portfolio reviews or conversion tactics, you can maybe gently smash those links above. You'll understand that there are lots of design tactics that we can implement into our design portfolios to position ourselves, to really put ourselves forward and really position ourselves in an advantage. So what I like about Johnny's is that he straight away showcased the logos of who he's worked with. Right away, when I see Zoho, Adobe, Microsoft, these are very large companies. If he has had the opportunity to work with these companies, then that would mean that they've already vetted him, they've already approved him, and they've already given him like the tick of approval as a good designer. So right away, I'm already sort of social proofed, and I feel that he's already validated in a sense. As I scroll further down, I would be honest that his visual design style probably doesn't meet the par of Issa's, Kurt's, and Olivia's, but I do get a different vibe, which is also quite advantageous. And what type of vibe do I get? The vibe that I get from Johnny is that he's a lot more entrepreneurial. He understands product design. He understands a lot about the business, the positioning of how to create something from scratch. So if you take a look at his design portfolio, he's got quite a few tactical designs that he's done for real products such as Microsoft and Zoho. You scroll further down, he's even got more. And I like the fact that he's implementing some creative little design tactics where he's locked some of these design portfolio case studies and he's requesting a pin, so obviously these are under NDA, but he's implementing these nice creative tricks and tactics into his design that makes it a little bit more interesting. So I think in terms of Johnny, I quite like how he's presented himself. Not visually, to be honest, I think the visuals can be improved, but more from a product positioning. So he's got, once again, an about section for himself, talks about volleyball. I love volleyball, guys. He's got a photo of himself, and he's pretty much putting himself in good light. Things that put a smile on my face. Volleyball, skateboarding, architectural photography, strawberry ice cream, and fried chicken. So guys, once again, you want to put through your personality because doing the design is great, being a hard worker is great, but also you need to be enjoyable to work with. Then if we scroll further down, the thing that I love about this is he puts himself out there and tells us that he does talks. He's talked at Adobe San Francisco, he's talked at Samsung events, he also runs workshops as well. So to reiterate, the reason why I get the vibe that Johnny is that all-rounder, if you throw him in the deep end, he's going to be able to talk to customers, he's going to gather whatever he needs to put together a very functional, very high-converting app is because from what he does. He's done a lot of different projects, and then he also does talks about it, he also runs workshops about it. So you can see that this guy really goes the extra mile to really differentiate himself. So as you can see, everyone is unique and different in their own ways. And depending on what the company wants and what they're looking for specifically, different candidates will be able to land those different jobs. So if a company is looking for a very, very strong visual designer, I genuinely believe that Issa and potentially Kurt will be able to land those jobs. Now, if a company has a lot of visual designers already and they're looking for someone to be a lot more strategic and be able to talk to customers and really build something that's outcomes driven, that requires a very heavy lifting UX process, then I generally believe that Johnny and Olivia will potentially be the right candidate for them. So in the end, there is never a right or wrong way to design your design portfolio. It's really about what are you good at and how do you really focus on that to get your foot in the door. Alright guys, I hope you found this video extremely useful, and if you want to join an exclusive mastermind group, feel free to check out the Mizco X link down below in the description. I run an exclusive group where we bring together determined and ambitious creators from all around the world to talk about design and actually help you grow. Alright guys, that's it for this video. I will see you in another video very soon.